Yes, people, how you doing? To Adele, Wagwan, it's your boy Osafit, and today I'm coming through with a different type of video, a slower pace, a bit of a change of pace video, where I'm just going to be talking about something I've just gone through, just got out of my first ever night shift, and I just wanted to share my experience with you people, man. I did a few during my placement times at medical school, but they were a lot less pressurized. Like, they were very cautious. Your seniors were very cautious to allow breaks, to make sure you didn't overwork yourself, and you weren't a doctor yet, so you didn't have that responsibility that comes with having an actual GMC number. You go off by yourself, and you're not supervised during an actual night shift as a doctor. But yeah, I'll dive right in, man. So let me explain to you how it works. So usually when you do a night shift, you come in and you pick up a bleep, right? So there'll be, at my particular hospital, there's a bleep that they call the baton bleep, right? So that will be passed on from the twilight doctor. Whoever did the twilight shift will pass it on to the night doctor. And if you haven't watched my video where I talk about how to balance fitness and life as a junior doctor, you might not know what a twilight shift is. At my hospital, it's the shift that runs on weekdays from 4 till midnight, and the purpose of it is to kind of overlap from the day team and take anything that they maybe didn't get done and tiny loose ends from them, and then carry the load of the evening, right? And then you'll eventually pass off to the night team. And then on Fridays, it's from 1 to 9, right? So this was bank holiday, right? So I got a handover from the person who's doing ward cover, not actually doing twilights. So a lot of these words might not mean anything to you, but ward cover basically just means that the person had been in pretty much all day from 8 to 8. So I arrived there at 8, my shift started at 8, and yeah, they handed over to me. So you get a handover from the person who was on twilights or on ward cover in this case, and they hand you over any jobs that didn't get done or any patients they think that you should be concerned about, and or you should keep an eye on, or any results that you might need to chase. And when we say chase, it means you've done a test but the results haven't been released by the time they're handing this over to you, so it means you're going to have to look at the results and act upon them accordingly. And this might be a chest x-ray, some bloods, anything like that. So I arrived, got a handover from my colleague, and there wasn't that many jobs, so I was thinking, you know what, this is going to be okay. And I got the jobs, wrote them down, and I've learned from my twilight shifts, man, like, as soon as you get these jobs, there's a possibility that give it 2 hours and your bleep's just going to be going off. You're going to be getting jobs from all over the hospital, man. So I make a conscious effort to bang out those first few jobs as soon as possible. So I was off, got my handover, then I went to go and get the jobs done. And to be fair, it wasn't actually that bad, okay? So for the first 4 or 5 hours, it was fairly busy. I didn't really have much time to myself. I was getting the jobs done, but they were coming and going at quite a manageable pace. So the kind of jobs I was having to do were things like cannulas. There were some patients that were fairly unwell. I had to just go to and manage, sometimes call your senior, get a second opinion, things like that. But there wasn't anything that was too taxing. But then after about 5 hours, and this is something that I again made the mistake of thinking, you know what, not me. Obviously, man's a night owl. Man can stay up all night if I need to. I don't even need coffee. But around that 4-hour mark, I started to realize, these eyelids are getting heavy, and I was racing up and down in the hospital, and I wasn't really paying attention to the fact that I hadn't had a break or anything yet. I was just, I was trying to keep on top of my list. Even though my advice in my last video was get your breaks in. So I started to think, you know what, as soon as I see an opening for a break, I'm going to take one. So around 5 hours, there was a bit of a lull, and this seemed to overlap with the time I was getting kind of tired. So snuck away just to get a quick break, and that was good. And ended up having a coffee, having like a 10-minute nap, and I was refreshed, and I bounced back. And then the rest of the shift, again, wasn't actually too bad. So I explained to you how it works for a surgical rotation. So I'm on a surgical rotation, and so when I'm on nights or if I'm on call, a large part of the job is clocking in new patients. So that means just taking history and assessing and getting the initial investigations for any new patients. So you're basically the first doctor that a new patient sees. And so I believe it's the same, if not very similar, for anyone who's on call or on nights. In a medical rotation too, it might just be that you're in AMU instead of SAU, which is SAU is the surgical assessment unit, and AMU is the acute medical unit. So anyway, that was a lot of the job that night. New patient, Stephen, go see them. And you discuss with your senior, or if your senior's in theatre, which can happen very often on surgical nights or surgical on calls. You make that management plan and you put it in place. But by God's grace, I had a lot of support in this shift. I felt very well supported, and yeah, a lot of the night was just clocking in patients and putting in different management plans for them, and making sure they were monitored accordingly and had the right follow-up for the next day, so that the day team could take it from there, and they were well prepared for the day team to come see them on the wall round or whatever. So yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. I thought I'd be flagging from like the first hour, and I'd have to be necking coffees. And to be honest, it's my first shift, so I do not know how things are gonna go from here. Like, this might have just been God saying, easing me into it, and the next few days could be horrendous. We never know, but God forbid. I pray that things just continue to be manageable. But this job is unpredictable, man. So just pray for me. Pray that the rest of the shifts are manageable, and that God gives me things that I can handle, and I'm sure He will. But yeah, as for my first night shift, I can't lie, I am knackered right now. I am actually dead. I'm about to go and grab a shower and then collapse into my bed. And it's going to be mad to see how I fit in fitness into this week. But I will, don't worry, and I'll get back to you on how to fit in fitness around a week of nights, because I think that's a different beast altogether. But yeah, thanks for tuning into this video, man. I know for some people it might not be that engaging, especially if this isn't the profession that you do. But if you're an F1 or above, you get what I'm talking about. If you're in medical school, you should be listening to this, because this is the life you're going to be living. It gets a bit first season of Grey's Anatomy, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. It was actually quite enjoyable at times. So yeah, that's first night shift. Tick. 3 more to go for this week, and a whole lot more to go for this career. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you all so much. I appreciate every single view. Honestly, God bless you guys. And yeah, peace.